What if the man behind one of the most chaotic platforms in modern history, Twitter, was actually the most mysterious figure of the 21st century? What if Jack Dorsey, beard aficionado, fasting enthusiast, and crypto evangelist, was hiding in plain sight all along? Yes, really. We're talking about the absurdly tantalizing theory that Jack Dorsey might actually be Satoshi Nakamoto, the elusive creator of Bitcoin. Laugh now, but by the end of this video, you might start questioning everything, including whether your phone is listening to you right now. Spoiler, it probably is. To understand how ridiculous, or maybe not so ridiculous, this theory is, we need to go back, way back. The year is 2008. The world economy is on fire. The housing market has collapsed. Banks are being bailed out like sinking ships. And while the world panics, one name quietly appears on a cryptography mailing list with a 9-page white paper that would go on to change the world. Satoshi Nakamoto. No one had heard of them. No one knew who they were. But their paper, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, was elegant, revolutionary, and deeply anti-establishment. The kind of thing that made Wall Street executives sweat and internet libertarians foam at the mouth. It was digital cash with no middlemen, no central banks, and no gatekeepers. A dream come true for cypherpunks, anarchists, and anyone with a healthy distrust of governments. Then, just as mysteriously as they appeared, Satoshi vanished. Around 2010, they stopped responding to emails. Their forum posts stopped. They handed over the keys to the codebase and simply disappeared, vanished, ghosted the internet forever, but not before mining about 1 million Bitcoin. That's over $50 billion at today's prices. Just sitting there, untouched, like a buried treasure with a "do not open" sign. So who was this digital Houdini? Many names have been floated over the years. Hal Finney, Nick Szabo, Adam Back. Even Elon Musk had his 15 minutes in the conspiracy spotlight. But Jack Dorsey? Now that's a plot twist. Jack Dorsey isn't your average tech billionaire. He's not trying to colonize Mars or build AI girlfriends. No, Jack is more zen, more mysterious. A little monk, a little hipster, a little Silicon Valley wizard. Born in St. Louis in 1976, Jack was a strange kid. While other kids played sports or video games, Jack was building dispatch software for ambulances. You know, just your average teenage hobby. He was obsessed with maps, city patterns, and communication networks, the kind of stuff that makes sense when you realize he went on to co-found Twitter in 2006. Twitter, of course, became a global megaphone. Revolutions, memes, political meltdowns, all filtered through 140 characters, later 280. But while Jack was helping create the social media age, he was also brewing something else, a deep obsession with decentralization. Over the years, Jack evolved into one of Bitcoin's loudest cheerleaders. He didn't just invest in it, he lived it. He preached about it. He built entire companies around it. Square, now called Block, became a Bitcoin-centric financial ecosystem. He funded open-source Bitcoin development. He started initiatives like Spiral and TBD to support decentralized finance. He even said he might leave Twitter just to focus on Bitcoin full-time. Then he actually did it. Twice. Now let's entertain this theory, not because we're conspiracy nuts, although we might be, but because some things line up a little too well. Jack has always had an eye for elegant systems. He wrote the initial code for Twitter. He's not just a founder in name. He understands systems, he understands code, and more importantly, he understands ideology. Because that's what Bitcoin is, an ideology. Satoshi wasn't just a coder. They were a philosopher. They wanted to reshape how money worked, who controlled it, and how it could empower the powerless. Sound like anyone we know? Jack Dorsey has been very vocal about his distrust of centralized finance. He's made enemies out of big banks and payment processors. He once said, "The world ultimately will have a single currency. The internet will have a single currency. I believe that it will be Bitcoin." That's not your average endorsement. That's not just hodling. That's evangelism. And it's not like he jumped on the Bitcoin bandwagon late. Jack was supporting BTC back when most people still thought it was some weird World of Warcraft gold clone. He put money where his mouth is, personally, corporately, and ideologically. And let's talk writing. Satoshi's writings have been dissected more than Shakespeare's sonnets. The grammar, the spelling, the cadence. It's almost a sport at this point. British spellings here, American structure there. Satoshi often used British English, words like favor, color, and gray. Jack, oddly enough, has a habit of mixing spelling styles in his tweets. Could it be intentional? Could it be a long-term disguise? Maybe. Or maybe he just likes being quirky. But stylometry, the science of analyzing writing patterns, has been used to identify anonymous authors before. From J.K. Rowling's pseudonym to the Unabomber. The technology works, and when some researchers tried to apply it to Satoshi's writings, Jack Dorsey's name wasn't in the comparison pool. Why? No one thought to include him, because let's be honest, he doesn't exactly scream supercoder cryptographer, but that's part of the genius of the theory. Satoshi might not have been a lone programmer. They could have been a small group, a team, a collaboration. Maybe Jack was the ideologue, the communicator, the strategist. Maybe Hal Finney or others were the implementers. That would explain the balance of technical brilliance and ideological clarity in Bitcoin's early days. There's also Jack's weird habits. The fasting, the silent retreats, the beard, the barefoot walks to work. He lives like someone trying very hard to disconnect from the machine he helped build. Satoshi disappeared from the internet. Jack disappears into Vipassana meditation. Satoshi valued anonymity. Jack posts cryptic tweets with zero context. It's like performance art, except the audience doesn't know what the play is. And here's another breadcrumb. Jack has said multiple times that he has deep respect for Satoshi's principles, but he's also been strangely vague about whether he ever tried to contact them or dig into who they are. He could. He has the resources, the contacts, the data. But he won't, or maybe he doesn't need to, because he already knows. Now, this theory isn't without its holes. There's no direct evidence, no IP logs, no leaked emails, no hard proof, just patterns, echoes, vibes, if you will. But in a world where deepfakes exist, where billionaires launch memes into orbit, and where money itself is becoming code, maybe vibes are all we've got left. If Jack Dorsey is Satoshi Nakamoto, he has pulled off the greatest anonymity stunt of the modern era. He created a revolutionary currency, walked away from billions, then built a public tech empire while secretly nurturing his creation from the shadows. He played both sides of the coin, public capitalist and anonymous rebel. It would be the ultimate plot twist. And let's be honest, Jack has always had a flair for drama. But maybe he's not Satoshi. Maybe he's just someone who saw the brilliance of Bitcoin early, resonated deeply with its message, and decided to dedicate his life to pushing it forward. Maybe he's simply Satoshi's spiritual successor, not the real thing. Maybe the beard is just a beard, not a disguise. Maybe the tweets are just unhinged. Still, as the old saying goes, if it walks like a Satoshi, tweets like a Satoshi, and fasts like a Satoshi, well, you get the idea. So what do we do with this theory? Do we put it in the tinfoil hat pile next to Bigfoot and aliens? Or do we keep one eyebrow raised every time Jack tweets with no context? Maybe that's the beauty of Satoshi's legacy. The mystery forces us to ask better questions. Not just who are they, but why did they do it? What kind of person builds something world-changing and walks away? What kind of mind sees the flaws in our economic system, designs an alternative, and refuses to profit from it? If Jack Dorsey is Satoshi Nakamoto, it changes everything. If he isn't, it still tells us a lot about the kind of world we live in. A world where tech visionaries can shape reality, bend economies, and disappear when they choose to. A world where money has become software, and software has become myth. And maybe that's the point. Satoshi isn't just a person. Satoshi is an idea too big for any one person to contain, even Jack Dorsey. So the next time you see Jack posting about Bitcoin, remember, either he's the world's most committed fan, or he's just checking in on his creation. Either way, he's definitely not just the guy who made Twitter. Not anymore.